For many of you who are certified as project management professionals, I know you're looking out for jobs and I know you're doing all that you can. You're using every resource that's possible. But it's important that we talk about certain obstacles. I call them obstacles, and these are things that may be in your way. You either have to go over them or around them, but you shouldn't let them block you. In that, you should still be able to move. The first one is applying to a company where you have absolutely no connections. It could be looked at as an obstacle. So what do you do to get around that? Send in your resume and shine. But your resume has to be really specifically tailored to match almost exactly that job description. And I've seen this work over and over again, where I get my resume to match the job description, like really tight, not using the same language, that would be too obvious, but using complementary and matching language, like yin and yang. That's what I would advise. So just because you don't have connections in a big company you're applying for, it means nothing in my mind. When I applied to one of the biggest aerospace companies in the world, I knew nobody. And all it takes is you being in the right place at the right time. Now, this is not to diminish the leverage that you get when you have someone who is inside the firm as a reference. Yes, I agree. But if you don't have that, you still have got a chance. Number two, the next thing that could block you is feeling helpless and hopeless in your job search because you feel like you're at the mercy of the hiring managers or whoever's working with you to find you a job. No. You need to understand you have leverage in your job search. It is not you being at the mercy of the recruiter or the recruiting agency or the hiring manager. It is you working out your destiny as a project manager by doing the right stuff to position you for success. So don't feel helpless. Applying to jobs is actually empowering. What about people sitting down doing nothing? Those are the people who are at the mercy of whatever comes. So if you're out there being proactive, putting out your resume on the big job sites, the Monsters, the Indeeds, LinkedIn is huge. If you're doing all of these things, Dice, if you're into tech, then don't feel like you're at the mercy of the recruiters. The next thing that people see as a blocker is going for an interview and they give you a Myers-Briggs personality type assessment or something similar. I understand it could be rather annoying in that you may feel, what on earth in 2022? Are you kidding me? I agree. But you got to remember, a lot of HR personnel have learned this stuff and they feel it is relevant to teams that we may be looking to join. For whatever reason, they've put it in there. My advice would be to roll with it, see it as good old fun and part of the drill, and just move on. I went for an interview, a company I knew very well, and I got one of those, and I just shrugged it off. It is what it is, right? All right. Next thing is the question of, should I write a long or short cover letter to cover my resume as I'm sending it? I gotta be honest with you, it depends on the individual, but most folks I know in companies are gonna lean towards your resume itself. A poor resume and a wowy cover letter ain't gonna save you. And I dare say a really great cover letter and a great resume, if read, could actually make a difference. But the answer to this is, you don't know if it's going to be read, so you have to put your best foot forward in the resume. That is not to diminish the etiquette of sending a letter. Like if you are at the verge of being offered a job and you had a cover letter, it tells well. And when you start working, it also continues that idea of this person has got etiquette. So as opposed to you looking at what's in it for you. Just look at it like good etiquette and move on. That would be my 2 cents. Now, the final things I want to talk about are limitations we feel because of our network. Maybe we don't have a big network. Maybe I've worked in a company for the past 10 years of my life, 20 years of my life. I don't have a big old network. That's okay. You're PMP or you're a project manager that's not PMP certified, but you can tap in to the PMI chapter, your local PMI chapter, and just go from there. Having a small network is not going to prevent you from getting great jobs if you're doing the groundwork of matching your skill to the right job. So don't be discouraged about that. Next question is all about the duration. So if you have seen a job that's been out there for a duration of 15 days, 10 days, 20 days, does it make sense to apply to it? Why not? You can't lose by applying to it. Now, I'll say for jobs like that, I may not do a whole lot of customization because the likelihood of them being immediately available are slim, but then they might be. You just never can tell. So why give up? I'd say give it everything you got. If it's a job that you read and you like, go for it. Even if it's more than 10 days or 14 days. 30 days is definitely a bit far off. But again, nothing hurts by doing that. You're not going to spoil or jinx yourself. Just do it. It costs nothing to send in a resume and say, hey, I saw this job, I was interested in it. And you could be expecting an open. And if there are other jobs, similar jobs, yeah, you get those. You just never know. So you got to try at least. All right. Now, my final statement here is about my friends looking for work, and you feel like crumbling under the weight of a response. You get a response back from a recruiter. You want to fold up under that response. I'm telling you, searching for a job, it ain't for the weak. So you got to be strong. You got to be tough. You got to have thick skin going into the game of the job search. And how do you do that? You look at every opportunity that comes your way to interview as part of your journey and part of your process. Don't feel like you've been scorned or shunned. Just say, wow, thank goodness. This is my fortunate day. This one, it wasn't mine. And I'm grateful that I haven't found myself in the job before I realized that. So I always look at the opportunity as being training wheels for my resume building or my job search or my interviewing skills. And that's exactly how I would recommend you look at it as well. It's part of the process. It's part of the journey. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. You also need to ask yourself this. If I stop looking now and I say, I'm fed up of being rejected, I'm not looking for work anymore, I'm just going to rely on someone to come to me. That's not going to work very well for you, I can assure you, because ain't nobody looking out for you like you can look out for yourself. So you need to have that thick skin and think of the end game. The end game is you get the job, you get whatever you're looking for, you get the position. That's the end game. You got to keep chasing that end game. All right, don't give up. I hope this gave you some context about how to navigate the job market. All the very best, my friends. Keep on trucking. Let me know how things work out for you. Bye for now.